We're going to talk about some scams that happen in real estate. The number one scam is wire fraud, and this is huge, it's real, and it happens to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars. When you are signing a contract, you'll sign an addendum that says you are aware of wire fraud. When you receive emails from anyone to do with the transaction, you're going to see at the bottom of the email, beware of wire fraud, because it does happen. So how this works is that whenever you're going to wire funds, let's say you're going to wire them to a title company for earnest money, for option money, or for the purchase of the home. Maybe you've got to wire your down payment, or you've got to wire an entire amount for the purchase of the home. So in that case, title company is going to send you wiring instructions through email. When you get those wiring instructions, you want to call the company, and you get that number from your realtor. You want to get that number and call them and confirm that these are the actual wiring instructions. So if you get a second email, don't call that one. Don't call the number on there either. Call the number of the title company and make sure that everything is in order and that all the numbers are accurate, that all the instructions are clear before you wire any money. And what if you don't want to wire money and not take the risk? You can do that. If you live in the neighborhood, or if you live in the same city where you're purchasing a home, then you can walk that money into a title company if you're using a local title company. And I recommend using a local title company. You can take that money in, the earnest money and the option money is due within the first 3 days. The third day by 5 o'clock, you can take that money in the form of a cashier's check and give them the option money and the earnest money. If you're going to be sending money for the entire purchase of the home or a down payment, you can use the cashier's check then too, and you can just bring that to closing. If you are purchasing a home out of state and you cannot come to closing, you'll get a mobile notary. Well, in that case, the title company can send you a prepaid label, and you can use that to overnight your earnest money and option money to the title company. That way you can avoid wire fraud. Another way to send your earnest money and option money to title is through Zocam. Zocam is an app that works just like a mobile deposit. You're basically going to take a picture of the front and back of your personal check and send it to the title company, and they will send you a receipt, and you've got your money there without wiring any funds. Another type of scam would be fake listings. So a scammer may post land or a house for sale. There's pictures, it all looks legitimate, and you may enter into doing business with someone that doesn't really own the property. And you're trying to purchase this property, you're sending money to them, maybe in the form of deposits or whatever the seller is asking for, and you're going to lose that money. A good way to prevent this is to rely on a realtor who looks at MLS listings, who can dig in deep into looking at the other listings that you're interested in, and then using a title company that you're familiar with or that you know to do a title search. So after closing, you may receive several letters, and many of these letters will come from scammers. One such letter may come from a fake lender claiming that they purchased the loan and you are to now make payments to them at a certain location. So your lender may sell your loan and there will be a new lender. However, it might not be the one that you received the letter from. Scammers going to make up a company, say ABC Mortgage Company. They have a nice looking website. They have a place where you pay online. And this particular company is not actual lender, and they didn't purchase the loan. So you'll be making payments to a company and losing those payments because you're no longer paying your mortgage. You're paying to a company that's not legitimate. So what you need to do to protect yourself is when you receive this letter, don't call the number on there. Call your lender, the lender you worked with throughout the entire buying process, and ask them, did you sell the loan? And to whom did you sell it to? And if you did, who do I make payments to? Start that process that way. Don't just assume that the letter is correct, because this has happened before to individuals, and they find themselves having to move out of their home because the actual lender has not received any payments because they were paying the wrong lender, the lender that scammed them. Another letter that you may receive is an offer to file your property home tax exemption. So if you live in Texas, you will get a homestead exemption. And in this case, someone's offering to file those for you, and they'll charge you a fee. Well, that's not necessary. You don't have to pay someone to do, you don't even want to, it's not real. You can, once you have your driver's license changed into your new address, you go to the tax office, and then you're going to go ahead and have your property exemption filed. It's very simple, it doesn't cost you anything. Another type of scam could be with your warranty or insurance. So you paid insurance at closing table, you may have paid for the next couple months, but you may get a letter stating that you still owe insurance, or that you didn't get the right amount of coverage, you're going to need to pay more insurance. Again, it's another scam where they're directing you to a place to pay, and it all looks legitimate, but it is not actually the insurance company that you need to be paying to. So again, you want to follow up, call the insurance company that you worked with during the closing, and find out if this is a legitimate situation. Another type of scam is contractors. So whenever you move into a home, you may need some repairs or you want some things done. Rely on your realtor and their referrals as far as who you want to use as a contractor. Also be aware of storm chasers. So storm chasers are contractors that travel from state to state and don't necessarily know the rules or what's required for each state. So if you hire a roofer, after a storm, there is a group of roofers and they're from Oklahoma, and let's say that you hire one and you end up without a windstorm certificate because they're from Oklahoma, they're not familiar with windstorm certificates that are required along coastal properties in the state of Texas. So now you've got a roof that will be more difficult and more costly to insure, and it's going to affect the resale value of your home because it's more difficult to sell when there is not a windstorm certificate. So again, can't rely on your realtor or use a local company for your contractor work. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. My channel is All Things Real Estate, helping the buyer be ready for home purchase.